All right. Second round of the playoffs has been way much more competitive. Except for the Bucks Celtics series, which is 3-1 in favor of the Bucks. Let's talk about that. Welcome to this episode of Basketball Street Beat. Episode, I want to say 15? Oh, who cares? I'm your host, John Behrens.
And I'm Joshua Perkins, formerly known as Mouse Cop. I just feel like saying I watch a lot of Key and Peele, so.
Okay, Josh. So, after a rather lackluster first round where I want to say only one series was really competitive, that was Nuggets Spurs, which went to 7 games. You could kind of say Clippers Warriors, which was 6, but still that was soundly Warriors winning. Everything else was just either a sweep or 4-1. Now we got four series going on in the second round. 3 of them are tied at 2 apiece. Only the Bucks have dominated their series.
It's a lot more competitive than we thought. And I knew that the Rockets and Warriors, they being tied 2-2, I knew it was going to be a very competitive one. I knew that this was a series that's going to go back and forth. I mean, the Rockets, they came into this series with some unfinished business with Golden State. I mean, the Rockets, I want to say they had a 3-2 lead last year in the Western Conference Finals, and the Warriors came back. As far as the Bucks and Celtics being 3-1, I'm kind of not surprised. Just the way the Bucks been playing all season, and how the Nuggets, they've had ego problems. How the Nuggets, to where
You mean Celtics?
Celtics, I'm sorry. There's a lot going on in the playoffs. Forgive me, disregard that. But there's a lot going on in the playoffs this season. The Celtics, they played masterful last series against Indiana, but it just seems to where they're kind of getting back to how they played their regular season, to where it's kind of back and forth. It's you never know what you're going to get.
Yeah, no, but the interesting thing is that, Boston swept the Pacers. Of course, the Pacers were down 1 or 2 players.
I want to say, I think 2. I know
2.
I know they lost Victor Oladipo, though, for the season.
I feel like they were down 2 players, too. But they absolutely dominated the Bucks' first game, winning, I want to say, by 22 points. And then they had a 12-point lead against Boston in Game 2. And then Greek Freak just took over, and Boston crumbled. Game 3, no competition there, and then Milwaukee won last night.
And with the series about to get ready to go back to Milwaukee, Celtics got a lot of pressure on them. So we're going to see how clutch they can be.
Yeah.
Celtics got an amazing team. It's just, their problem is not being able to put their pride to the side. It's either that or the Bucks that's just how good the Bucks are.
So, okay. I think we can pretty much accept that Milwaukee is more than likely going to be in the Eastern Conference Finals.
Right.
Are we possibly looking? I mean, I know the series is tied, but seriously, it seems like even with Kawhi Leonard, Toronto still may not be able to get it done. Still not get it done.
And despite not having to go against LeBron James, still might not get it done. Because in the past few seasons, Toronto has ran into the buzzsaw known as LeBron James. LeBron's now in the Western Conference Finals, and he's not even in the playoffs this season. But they're going against a team that has really emerged, and let's just say they've trusted the process. The Philadelphia 76ers, and the Sixers, they just been rolling with Jimmy Butler, Ben Simmons, and Joel Embiid. But with the Raptors, the problem for the Raptors, in the playoffs has been, Kyle Lowry, showing up and then not showing up. It's kind of like he's a guy that shows up when he wants to. And, Kawhi can't do it by himself. And I feel that the way the Raptors are playing this season, like, depending on how far they go is going to determine if Kawhi stays or goes in the offseason. And the same thing goes for the Celtics. How far they go is going to determine whether Kyrie leaves or not.
Yeah. So what do you think about the 76ers? Because you got, like you said, Joel Embiid, Ben Simmons, Jimmy Butler, and Tobias Harris. Yeah, it seems like every time the 76ers win, it is when Embiid does well. If he doesn't do particularly well, they lose.
I mean, well, Joel Embiid, he's been pretty much the heart and soul of that team, even during the dark days of the Sixers. And he's always told people to trust the process. So he's pretty much the motor that keeps the engine going. And, I mean, the team feeds off of him. I mean, they go based off how he's going. They go off of his vibe.
So I guess what I'm saying is, why can't anyone else step up? You know, what's the big deal there?
I mean, in the Sixers, like we said, they got weapons like Ben Simmons, Tobias Harris, Jimmy Butler. And it's just something hard for me to wrap my head around. It's just, I mean, one slacks up, you guys got to be able to step up and play.
Yeah, because, I mean, you look at how they've done this here, and out of Harris, Butler, and Simmons, if one goes completely cold, they can still win. But if Embiid goes cold, they lose. It's almost a guarantee.
It's kind of like he's that, Joel Embiid is pretty much that glue. And if he goes down, everybody goes down. So I guess he's just that. It's hard to describe it. I mean, he's that. I mean, like I said, he's the motor that keeps the engine running. So it's hard to explain because the Sixers are way more talented than having one player go cold and everybody else goes cold.
Okay, let's hop over to the West. You got the series between the Nuggets and the Trailblazers, which is just kind of
it's been entertaining.
Very
entertaining. Like Game 3 went 4 overtimes.
Those two teams typically don't perform well in the playoffs. I think the last time the Trailblazers got to the Western Conference Finals was 2000.
That's about
99, 2000, something like that.
19, 20 years, so it's been a while.
And then, of course, the Denver's never gotten past the second round. Usually don't get past the first round. Well, what about that series?
I feel that this series is pretty much a look into the future, into teams that are going to be able to dethrone the Warriors, teams that are going to be able to dominate the West for years to come. I mean, you look at this Nuggets team, you're looking at guys like Jamal Murray and Nikola Jokic. And Jokic, this is an Iron Man. All right, so you're looking at game 4 overtimes, game 3. So you're looking at about 68 minutes. Nikola Jokic played 64 minutes of that game.
Wow.
And, you look at the Blazers. I mean, you're looking at the faces of that Blazers franchise, Damian Lillard. You also got guys like CJ McCollum out there, who is a deadeye from three-point land. And you also got Enes Kanter, who's the main guy getting out doing the grunt work, doing the dirty work for the Blazers. And he was an important pickup ever since Nurkic went out with his severe leg injury. I actually saw the video of Nurkic getting his leg broken. It wasn't easy to watch. But this Blazers team has shown that they are here for the long run, that they do want to get better. They do want to make it further. And they are trying to evolve their team. And I'm actually very excited for the future of this Blazers team. So I feel that this series is a look into the future of teams that can really dominate and teams to really look out for years to come.
Yeah, Denver was so close to clinching the number 1 seed, but they kind of collapsed there a little bit towards the end of the season, which allowed, of course, Golden State to come and take that. What do you think Nuggets need to do? Are they just young, or do they need to add like a superstar in there? I
mean, I don't think the Nuggets need to add a superstar. I think they have the team that they need. I mean, Nikola Jokic, Jamal Murray, Paul Millsap. I wouldn't say add a superstar, but add another contributor, because they are young. So you do want to add a little bit more veteran talent. I mean, Paul Millsap, who is a veteran, I mean, he's out there. But at the same time, you do want to add like maybe another veteran. I wouldn't say add a complete superstar, because the Nuggets have the team they need. But I would say add another veteran who can guide those young players and provide that experience out there.
Yeah. All right, let's turn our attention real quickly to the drama series. Houston versus Golden State. It looks like the Rockets have overcome the referees.
Yeah.
After complaining about them for 2 games.
kind of babyish. I mean, go ahead and play basketball, because it wasn't like that back in the 80s and 90s. If you got fouled and the call was missed, it wasn't no dispute. It was you kept playing basketball and you retaliated on the other end. I mean, that was when the game was super physical. But that's beside the point.
Yeah. So what do you think about this? Golden State took the first two, obviously, and then Houston has taken the last two at home. You think this is going to be a home team wins every game, or are we going to see someone break that trend?
If it's all right, so if it's a home team wins every game, Warriors are going to advance. No questions asked. If anybody should break that trend, it would be Houston. I mean, Houston, they have gone into the Oracle and they have knocked off Golden State before during the regular season. And I feel that if Golden State can win Game 5, they will win the series. Game 5 is the most important game of the series, because Game 5 is going to determine who wins it. I know it's a 7-game series, but Game 5 is so pivotal.
Yeah. Sorry about that little interruption there. Things happen.
Yeah.
Anyway,
exactly.
what were we saying? We're talking about the Rockets Warriors.
Yeah, we was.
So, what do you think about the whole mess that was the referee?
I just think that the more that that teams dwell on it as far as the referee issue, then the less successful they're going to be. I mean, yeah, you're going to get screwed. I mean, that's what referees do. They like to screw teams out. But you have to keep playing, and you got to be able to play the hand that you're dealt with.
Right. It's just interesting that Mark Cuban even got involved in it. It's like, this is what I've been saying all along.
And your team's not even in the playoffs. And when's the last time they were in the playoffs? Yeah. How about you just sit down and enjoy your money? How about that?
Complain about it on Shark Tank.
That's not even the place to even complain about it. Like I said, stay in your lane and enjoy your money.
All right. So we got 3 of the 4 series tied. Do you have any predictions?
My prediction is, I say Toronto gets over the hump. I say they will knock off the Sixers. So, Eastern Conference Finals, we will have, I would say, Raptors and Bucks. Western Conference Finals, I would say Blazers. And I'm going to make a bold prediction and say Rockets. I say the Rockets will take one in the Oracle Arena, and that they will get over the hump, and that they will be in the Western Conference Finals.
Yeah, and then I would probably take Rockets from there.
Yeah, I would probably take Rockets from there. Well, I'll say the Blazers, they have the potential to be able to hang with the Rockets. But then again, ever since the Blazers and Rockets first met up in the playoffs a few years ago, I mean, the Rockets have evolved. I mean, getting CP3, getting, Eric Gordon and Jeff Green. So, I mean, I would probably take Rockets from there. As far as the finals, I would say Rockets and Bucks.
Interesting matchup. Okay, let's hop back over. What does Boston have to do to get back into this series? And do you think, what are the chances of us seeing a comeback by the Celtics?
If Boston doesn't improve their defense, and if they cannot get back on the same page, the chances will be slim to none. If Boston can get back to how they was last series and how they were in Game 1 of this series, then the chances of seeing a Boston comeback would actually be pretty high. Because Boston, they did show in Game 1 that they can win in Milwaukee in front of a hostile environment. They did show again in the series against the Pacers that they can play together and that they can put their egos to the side. So if Boston can get themselves together, get their defense together, get back to how they was playing when they played against Indiana, then there is a definite chance that Boston can pull off a comeback and force a Game 7.
Yeah, it's not impossible to come back from being down 3-1. We've seen it before.
Ask LeBron. Ask Chicago Cubs. They did it.
You said the Cubs, and then LeBron James and the Cavaliers did it in 16 against the Warriors, who ironically overcame a 3-1 deficit against the Thunder, and then somehow didn't manage to hold a 3-1 lead in the finals.
Deja vu. Now the Warriors knew that. Well, that's how it feels to come back on.
So yeah, a little bit of a short episode today, but not surprising, seeing how it's the playoffs and there aren't many games going on. I'm thinking most of the series should wrap up within the next few days, if I'm correct. I think the Milwaukee series will be over at their next game.
Oh, it definitely will be. I mean, look at the way the Greek Freak's been taking over. I mean, Greek Freak is definitely, in my top 3 as far as MVP is concerned.
Yeah. So that's it for this episode of Basketball Street Beat. Please follow and subscribe to us. You can find us here on YouTube. You can find us on Facebook. We're also on Twitter, though I have to be honest, I'm not on there too often. So unless you just want updates on what we're doing, follow us on Twitter. And as always, AISportsNetwork.com. This has been AI Sports Network production. I am John Behrens.
And I am Pinocchio's Plan. I'm Joshua Perkins.
Signing out.